Everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if you're new, welcome. My name is Ashley Kavita, and today we're going to be doing a review recap of Love Goals, which is a TV show on OWN with celebrity couples who are like doing therapy, basically. So this is season 1, episode 6. Let me know in the comments if you guys want me to go back and do like recaps and reviews of episodes 1 through 5. So we're just going to jump right into it. So today Spirit was meeting with the guest, I guess you can say, and they're like doing narrative therapy, which is, I guess it's kind of like, telling your own story basically. So in this case, they're each gonna write and create poems. They have brought in 2 poets, Alicia and Shihan. Alicia is a poet and an author. Shihan is a world-renowned poet. So they break them up into groups, both men, women, respectively. Alicia's with the women, Shihan is with the men. So everyone is trying to be like very vulnerable and truthful. And basically, it's a part 2 to last week's episode where they all spoke in group about their childhood traumas and kind of how that's affected them today. So it's bringing that all together in a poem to express to friends and family, as well as their significant others, and in some cases what they need from them. So they did it. It wasn't much other than the presentations. There was a little bit of like thought processes and hindrance or feeling very at home with doing the poetry. So like Alicia had said a quote by Asia Monet, excuse me if I mispronounced that, it's whatever's stopping you from writing the poem is the poem. And that really sat with me as well, because I don't write poetry though, because I guess it blocks me and maybe I should, but with writing in general, a lot of times I start and then like I get stuck, and so that spoke to me, and I think I'm gonna take that into my everyday life. So Sunday is really interested in being completely honest with Bree about what happened. Last week's episode, she didn't share in group. She shared alone with Spirit, and then after that she shared with the girls. So none of the guys know, and Breon doesn't know either, because she doesn't want him to look at her as damaged goods. Luckily though, and happily, she's able to use poetry and use this exercise to go about and express that to him. So that's really cool. Mimi spoke with Alicia, and they kind of came together on her saying exactly what she means. She said she wants to be married and live a happy life, and Alicia said, what does a happy life mean? And Mimi let her know that a happy life to her means no more of the back and forth, no more of I said this but I'm doing this. So getting her to express exactly what she means in her poetry was kind of that. And then Teresa said she's not gonna hold anything back. She's not gonna sugarcoat it. She's going to say exactly what it is. And her speaking with Alicia, she kind of came to the conclusion that Dwayne sees her as strong, as strength, and he said it. She's always gonna be there. She's always gonna be his rock, but she isn't always strong. She came to that realization that every single aspect of her life today had an effect on what happened to her back then. That had an effect on her now. So her whole theme is reintroducing herself to Dwayne to show that, yes, I'm strong. This is why I'm strong. Here I am, because he doesn't know about her past. He knows, I guess, a little bit, but he doesn't know how deeply it affected her. She felt like it was in the past. She didn't want to burden him, and I can see myself with that a lot, because I don't ever want to share my past and things that I've been through to burden anyone else. I just want to be this happy, fun person that people see me as, So with the men, Breon was sharing that he met Sunday in a restaurant all because of a napkin. Basically, like a napkin fell and she picked it up, and he says that she says it didn't happen like that. And I guess it's kind of like he's saying that she did it on purpose, and like, oh, I dropped my pencil in school, let me go bend and snap. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where that was. Benzino's really just gonna put it all out there and express how he feels about Althea. And then Coolio seems to kind of be, I guess, not as engaged. He seems not disinterested, but it kind of seems like he's not gonna give it his all and really express himself, according to Shihan. So Spinderella and Spirit have like a one-on-one, and Spinderella was having trouble with how to go about it. She didn't want to be incorrect, basically. She wanted to be right and good, and that's what she's done her whole life. She's been silent, didn't communicate much, didn't say anything. Her dad would ask her what's wrong, and she'd say nothing. And it's because she didn't want to be wrong. She always wanted to be right. She didn't want to be the problem. She wanted to be good, everything to be good. So she, after speaking with Spirit, she kind of sees things in a different light and is going to really let it all out in her poem. And I really can't wait to see it, because through, outside of the show, we know things about her and her group and how they did her, and it's still affecting her to this day. So you definitely want to see someone get over that, overcome it, and knowing that it affects her love life, you want to see, you want to see people happy. So I'd love to see her be able to overcome it with that. So before the presentation, Althea and Benzino speak, and Benzino kind of shares with Althea that he basically wrote everything about her, really expressed himself and what she kind of means to him. And he talks about going away on a trip to Bali. And she feels like it's moving a little bit too fast. And I can understand, like, okay, just last week even, the time before that, they did not a challenge, but an exercise together, and they got along after. It was beautiful. But then the following week, Althea, like, outs him. She says he's not being authentic when they're sharing, and it was wrong, but I kind of understood why she did it, but still, in my opinion, it was wrong. Spirit thought it was wrong, and it hurt Benzino. So it's not like they're on this great, page, and I think maybe from that time frame they did good, So he's ready to jump all in, and it seems like she wants to take it slow, but then they bring up her talking to another guy, and she says it's only been for one day, but he says she said she had like feelings for him, like it felt different, and she doesn't know if she is in love with Benzino the same way that he's in love with her. Basically, he says that she's the one, and she can't confirm that he is her one. And I guess Benzino kind of thinks it's about the guy, and it possibly could be. So he feels like, you definitely haven't been talking to him for a day. It's been more than that. Like, just be honest with me. And she kind of feels like it doesn't matter. So I can understand both sides. I understand definitely you want to kind of take it slow. Let's see how we can go. But I think like a family trip together would be nice. You can see how you interact without any, you're on vacation. It's fun. It's light. And see how you guys can interact with that. But he would have to understand that this is not, oh my god, it's a vacation, we're back together, we're in love, everything's honky-dory. Like, this is the first step, and he has to understand that they're taking the steps. Like, says, oh, I'm not going to do the presentation because I'm going to embarrass myself. And it's like, oh my god, again? Like, I'm sorry, but I'm tired of, like, his fits, basically. I don't want to do something because she's not doing it, instead of just allowing yourself to heal, regardless if you guys are together or not, because their whole thing when coming into the house was, we want to at least be able to co-parent for our son, so do it. Then we go to like where they're presenting their poems, and Benzino does decide that he is going to present without having to have Spirit or anyone talk to him, which I thought was great. It was a breath of fresh air, because I did I did not. I'm sorry. I just did not. I couldn't. It kind of gets annoying when it seems like him and Althea seem to be the only ones to throw fits. It's like, why are you here? So Teresa goes first. Her poem is, I guess, titled Allow Me to Reintroduce Myself. It's basically about her being strong on the surface, but the truth is that she's been broken. She never gave Dwayne an ultimatum to say, it's me and our family or your friends. But her past haunts her. And those friends are kind of like a trigger, you could say. It's definitely scary to think that the ones that you care about, the ones that care about you, the ones who even care about your children could potentially hurt your children. When they spoke about issues, he didn't hear her because she would do it with a smile. She would do it with her strength. She'd talk with her strength, with her smile, with, like everything was okay, even though it wasn't. And I resonate with that so much. Holds my strength and will say that this is a problem, but you can't see that it's a problem because I'm showing my strength. It's kind of like, oh, this is a problem, but I got it. I think that's what she meant. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but that's how, at least I do it, and that's how I felt hearing what she was saying. So the pain that she went through and everything made her look strong. So she said that she is a product of her pain, and that product is strong and silent. Dwayne gives her a hug, and it melted her. And hearing her talk about the way she felt when he came up and hugged her, and that he understood what she was saying, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. It made me cry. It was so nice to see. It was just everything. So Dwayne goes next, and his poem was shorter. He was just recognizing that he did put his friends first, but acknowledged that even when things got hard, like his grandmother and his aunt passing, and where he would have felt alone, she was there and never allowed him to feel alone. To me, what he was saying was that I mess up. I put my friends over our family, over you, over our kids, and I don't want to do that because I acknowledge, I recognize what you've done, how you've been there for me, and I don't want to take advantage of it. And he said that he vowed to love her more than she would ever be able to ask for, and that was so sweet to me. You could tell that it meant something to both of them. Amy went next. So she tried to turn a blind eye to the lies and the lifestyle that Coolio as a rapper lived. But she always had to look, always peeking. And I think a lot of people can resonate with this as well, because I know that, okay, yeah, it's a possibility that he's doing dirt, and I'm not finna leave, but I'm finna look. And you say you finna leave, but when you look, you just want to argue, and you want them to say, I got you, I'm not finna do it no more, even though you know in the back of your head that it's gonna happen. And I think that's kind of what she's been doing, and she's been complacent with loving that way, loving him and allowing him to hurt her, but then being hurt, but okay, I love him, so let's continue this cycle. And now she just wants to marry him, wants his last name, and wants all that other stuff to stop. So then Coolio goes, and he was looking and searching for something that he didn't have growing up. He couldn't find growing up. And he talks about that a lot in the episode before. And then he found Mimi, who he said, whose love is like Niagara, triple dose of Viagra. Okay. He recognizes how much she loves him. He said she'd kill everyone in this MF for him. But he said he needs her to show him how to love, because they mentioned that as well, that it's something that he doesn't know how to do. And he wants to make that vow, but he won't right now. And I think that's because he doesn't know how to love. I don't want to commit to you, and I can't even, love you the way you deserve to be loved. But he does say that he loves her until the end of time, till someone kills him or not. So call me slow, but I wasn't sure what the or not whole thing was about. So definitely let me know in the comments. Then Sunday went, and she expresses that basically she didn't mean to fall in love with him. And her past makes her second guess if this whole thing will even work. She knows that he's there for her, and he supports and uplifts her, and makes her feel like a queen, the queen that she is, because she feels herself that she's damaged goods. Your past doesn't make you damaged goods, you know what I'm saying? So he treats her like the queen that she is. She says that her innocence was taken away from her, and he didn't know that, you know. Put her definitely in like a dark space and stopped her from being vulnerable. And she wants to love him the way that he should be loved, like a king, and treat him that way. And I think with this poem, she really put herself out there, especially with the last question, you know, saying that I want to love you. And I asked him, is it just him and her still? For me, I guess a lot of pride. I don't like to put myself out there. When my boyfriend wants to go play basketball and I just want to chill in the house with him, I can't even tell him, can you stay in the house with me because I want to spend time with you? I can't do it. And he wants me to do it, he knows, but he won't do it unless I ask. Then Bree goes, and he uses the napkin as a metaphor for Sunday. And he said when she looked back after picking it up, he's seen beauty, power, independence, and of course booty. So she made him revoke his own player card. So he was saying that it's true feelings there, and that, yeah, we know that he was talking to other girls and their situation wasn't traditional, and the fact that they were dating or anything like that, they were just, you know, having fun. The feelings that he has for her is real and makes him say, I don't want to be a player no more. This is done with. I want to be me and you. And he wants to take her to the movies, the park or whatever, and to meet his friends. And I thought the meeting his friends was like a big thing. You know, you meet their friends. It's not like meeting their family, but it's like meeting their family. So then Althea goes, and she says her heart was always true, but she doesn't know if she was true with herself, and she's now ready for her thoughts to match her feelings. She doesn't really say what she wants, but what she does say is a problem, and she just wants real love. For me, I feel like Althea has been surface. Even last week when she was sharing, I felt that it was kind of like there was more that she could have went into, and I understand not wanting to necessarily go into it, but to out Benzino about issues because he wasn't going deep. I felt like she wasn't going deep either, and I think here she wasn't really going deep as well. I think she could have dove deeper in either her pain, her issues with Benzino, on, you know, how her past has affected her, or, you know, the care that she has for him, because I do think that they both have genuine care and love for each other. It just may not work out, but that doesn't mean that there's not love, you know, there. So Benzino goes, he feels like the exercise allowed him to share his true emotions about Althea. So he talks about how they made a beautiful child together. That's both of theirs, him and hers. And their son makes him feel special and wanted. And when he looks at him, you know, the look of a child. And this got me emotional because I'm sitting here watching it, making notes in the bed with my daughter. And it's so true, that look that a child gives you just can melt your heart. It can melt your heart, let me tell you. Let me stop crying too, but let me tell you. Whew, pause break. So he said that he is still sad though, because he doesn't have her. And he says that she's perfection personified. Tongue twister. She's independent, beautiful, and always down. He says that she deserves the world. And he mentions how happy she was at like the Soul Train Awards when she first heard her song on the radio, and also when he got on 1 knee and asked her to marry him. and he feels he is nothing without her and would rather die instead, is what he said. And she broke him for he is her bread. And there was like a whole portion before all the last part I just said of where he repeated that and something about, I think, yeast and water, and I think it's a Bible reference. I don't know, I probably should have researched it. Maybe next time. Let me know if you knew. And he wishes her well in any new relationships, and he won't shed any more tears, and regardless, he admires and adores her. So I think that last part he added in after the speaking with her, because he definitely was hoping that this poem would show her that all the things you thought I didn't notice, didn't see, I did. I seen them, and they make me happy to see you happy. If she does want to, I would hope that they can kind of calm down and really listen to each other and overcome, so that they can work it out, not just for themselves but for the baby. At the end of the day, if nothing else, I hope that they were able to co-parent, but seeing them being in love in a two-parent home would be great. So Q goes, and for me, he starts off very strong. I'm not really too much with poetry and spoken word and stuff like that, but he says, if I had to keep my mouth shut and not talk about love, the love that he has for Spinderella, his tongue would talk his teeth into biting his lips, because the love he has needs to be spoken. And I melted. I was like, oh girl, made me so whew, you know, like, can somebody talk like that about me, please? That it was sweet. He said he loves to make her smile, to see the gap on the side of her mouth, and she couldn't help but smile, like, you know, that kind of like embarrassed, but oh my god, it's so sweet at the same time. And he said he's there for her even when his love is speechless. I think, God, I forgot, but I think like a sister was like passing, and he didn't know what to say, but he was there, and that's really the very important part. It's hard to say stuff when someone close to your significant other passes. It's, you don't know what to say, because what can you say? But being there for them is all the words you need, you know? So he said he asked God to give him everything he needed to take care of her, and that he quit his job so that he can work his own hours and spend most of his time with her. And he's not going anywhere, and the love that he has, this huge love that he has, is hers. It was sweet. It was so sweet. Spinderella goes, and she says, can anybody see me? Is everybody Stevie? Sometimes I wonder. And it took me a second to get it, because I'm rewatching the first season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and I'm like, did she date Stevie J? And I'm getting it mixed up with Michelle A from Marriage Boot Camp, who didn't, I don't think, dated Stevie J, but dated like niggas who wasn't shit in the industry. And yeah, that's where I went with it. And then she said Wonder, and then they panned the Q and was like, oh, and I was like, oh. So yeah, it was a little slow moment, but that was nice. So she said she appears gentle and silent, but her silence is deadly. And kind of like, if you poke the bear finna come, period. So she will say whatever the F she wants to say. Might say, I'm one bad B. She's a quiet giant, but don't be shocked when she says what the F she has to say. So she starts off with this kind of like, F you, fuck you. To the men that treated her like dirt, fuck you. To those who took advantage of her, fuck you. And those fake ass friends, fuck you. Fuck you. Everybody, me too, sitting at home, fuck you. Fuck you. And she said she doesn't even season her food no more. I was like, no. I got that one quicker. So this experience, hearing everybody talk, everybody being able to write and then express themselves, I think was great. I hope it really resonated with everyone. I hope that Spin definitely saying that out loud to people, to an audience, was able to release herself from, you know, the pain that she has because she felt like she was backstabbed. So yeah, it was a really good episode. it made me kind of reflect on myself. I might even go write myself. So yeah, thank you so much for coming back or coming and watching my review. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends if you know anybody likes reviews or if they watch Love Goals. So shortly I will be putting out a review of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days, and then a Teen Mom OG review because I think it comes on tonight, so I'll watch it tonight. That'll be up tomorrow, but the other two should be up today, if not for the latest tomorrow. Subscribe, like, comment, let me know if there's anything you think I should change, should add, you want to see. I look forward to definitely having a community, speaking, all of that stuff. So follow me on Instagram, ashley.kavita. I look forward to seeing you guys next time.